Hey, so in the last video we discussed what we need to run PHP properly, and one of the things that we're going to install is called Xampp. It's the bundle package containing pretty much everything you need. So in this video here we're going to go install that, give you a couple tidbits in case there's always a couple things that you might need to know, and it'll save you a lot of troubleshooting in the future. And setting up these things often comes with a couple problems. So to start off, you're going to go to your nearest internet browser. Yeah, open it up. Pardon the lag here. Alright, then once you have your browser open, you're going to go to www.apachefriends.com .org, pardon, apachefriends.org/en/xampp, that's with two P's, .html. And once you're navigated to that page, you should have this display here. This is the official Apache site. It has a bunch of developer tools and all sorts of stuff that can help you also if you had any extra questions perhaps. But we're going to go to Xampp for Windows, since this is the Windows installation series. And now that we're on this page, there's a bunch of text on this page. I'm not going to read that out loud, that would be incredibly boring. But we're going to click the SourceForge link, as this is where the download stuff is. You know, I'm making the assumption that since it says there's older versions of this link, it'll most likely have the newer version too, because I don't really see a download button other than the advertisement on the last page. Ah, perfect. Anyway, Xampp, Windows, click, and open this up, and I just noticed that right here it says looking for the latest version. That's a very useful little feature that'll save us a lot of searching. So just go and click this right here, download Xampp Win 32. At the time you're downloading this, you'll have a newer version, considering, well, it could be 50 years in the future when you try this. Who knows? But anyway, you can install this, wait for this little download process to run correctly, and I'm actually going to cancel this because I've already done it. As you can see here, I have the installer, 63.2 megabytes, and once you get that, you can just wait for the download. You're going to right click, and you're going to open it. And you'll go through the prompt, you'll click Run, and there'll be a little setup and verify installer. It's unloading installation or getting ready, I guess. Now, like English, Dutch, I assume, we're going to stick with English because I'm English. And this is a little Windows Vista notice actually. User access control sometimes messes around with the installation. So keep in mind if you have user access control running on your computer, you might want to disable that. Alright, so welcome to the wizard, yada yada yada. I'm going to click next. This is pretty self-explanatory. Here's an important thing though. The installation path, we're not going to put it in the programs file, which you may be used to doing. We're actually going to put it in the root directory of your main computer drive. So you'd go to computer C, this is often the one, or perhaps a flash drive, but I'd suggest you use your main hard drive. And the reason for this, there's many reasons. It's mostly the fact that it's easy to access, and how the Xampp bundle is configured, it'll search in that directory rather than in a big nested directory with all your other stuff. It'll run better, less chance of messing up things. So we're going to click next here, have it set to your main directory, and create a Xampp desktop icon. Sure thing. Folder in the start menu. Why not? And this is important. Service section. Install Apache. Yes. Install MySQL. Install FileZilla. FileZilla also install this. I already have it, so I'm not actually going to get it, but I strongly suggest you get this because it allows you to connect to your site remotely. So through an FTP client, as I should say. You may not know what that is yet, but it's a little techie thing that's quite useful for web development. So now we're going to click install and just watch as the magic happens. I'll try to pass time as this is loading because I don't want to bore people to death. But anyway, as this is installing, you can see a couple things coming up here. miss.htm, no idea what that is, to be honest. But I'm trying to see if we can recognize anything. We had a couple library folders up here. .so files, whatever that could be. ISO files, .so, Mac, oh there's Mac configuration. Here's some binary files, images, tons of images seem to be loading. And this is basically configuring all the stuff you need. So I'm actually going to skip through the installation so I don't bore you to death. And right here, skip. Oh, it's been like 6 minutes and this is still going. Anyway, I just brushed my teeth. I'm going to pause again, keep waiting. It's obviously taking some time. Nope, still going. And I'll keep waiting. I'm going to go count the spider webs in my room. Be right back. Just wait for this to finish. Alright, so here the download's now completed, finally. Gosh. And it seems to have opened a little prompt here, command prompt. I'm assuming this is going to direct me to something. Oh, it did. Alright, configure for version 1.7.4. Please wait. It seems to be doing everything for me. WinSox v2. I'm just waiting. I'm letting it guide me through the process. I thought I would tape this though, since I don't recall exactly what it could be doing. Have fun with Apache friends. And it worked. There we go. Click finish to close this wizard. Oh, good riddance. Be gone. Click finish. Oh, and another one. Now it's checking necessary ports. Please wait. This is basically ports. I'll explain those later. It's another topic. It's a lot to cover. But ports are pretty much where the connection is detecting on your computer and what can connect to what part of your computer, as I should say. So Apache's looking for an area to connect to your computer so you can run a site. That's a very brief form. Installing, still going, testing, HTTP, it's checking the connection, I believe. Apache 2.2, it's starting the service, so it's doing everything for you. This is way nicer than manually installing everything, because you have to position it and do all that grit work by yourself. And we're still waiting. I may have to skip through if this keeps on going, because it's terrible. I can't even. La 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 la. And it worked. Anyway, another command box. Oh, okay. Service successfully installed. The MySQL service. Here's the next package. Alright, so I see I'm catching on to the pattern here. It's going through each of those packages. Remember that I mentioned in the last video we had the MySQL, and then you had PHP MyAdmin. It was going through and installing all those. Service installation finished. Hint: use also the Xampp control panel to manage services. I'll get into this. It's very useful. And once this is done, you click Start, which is yes, right here, and it'll open up a very convenient panel. Close off your browser, close off the download page. Alright, as you can see here, this is the Xampp control panel. It comes with a nice little template where you can start, stop, and Apache and MySQL will be the things that you need to run. As you can see here, they're currently running. You can click stop if you would like. You can also stop MySQL, and this is your database. So basically, if you want your site to be able to run properly, you have to have Apache running, and if you're using a database, you need to have MySQL running. Well, if you're using the MySQL database, that is. FileZilla, you don't have to run Mercury or FileZilla. That's only if you were to be using them, perhaps. I already have it installed, as I said before, but right now we're focusing on getting things up and running. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click Start Apache, and then I'm going to click MySQL, and it currently says busy, but you got to wait for them to start up. There you go. It takes a bit of time. Oh, and one very important thing I'd like to mention actually about Apache is there's a big problem with it if you have the program Skype open. The reason for this is it takes the same port. You see it says started port 80, and I was freaking out before because I realized that after a good 20-30 minutes of wondering why Apache wouldn't start, it was because Skype was open. So if you have Skype open, or perhaps another chat program on your computer that's connecting to someone else or another server, turn that off. Try disabling stuff and just going raw and see if it works. And as you can see here, I'm looking in my main drive now, the C drive. I'm looking for the Xampp folder. I should have two of them. Xampp 1, that's my previous one. I didn't want to erase and override my other websites. Just going to find this. I'm going to go search for it. I'll pause 1 second. Oh wait, no, I found it. My observation skills they're terrible. I'm sorry. Anyway, once we get in this folder, you're going to look for the file called htdocs, and that should be right here, conveniently placed. Now htdocs is going to be the main root of your website. If you go and open another web browser again, to find your website, you're going to type localhost in the address bar, and that'll put you on your own personal little page there. So go to your address bar. Oops, got home page loading. localhost. Press enter, and as you can see, you're guided to a main prompt page. All these language selections, click the one that you're associated with, and here you go. Welcome to Xampp for Windows. You've successfully installed. Easy as that. You have your own little fake IP there. We'll all share this one most likely, and this is how you access the page. So also, if you were to put that in your URL, you would go to the same page. Oh, it's untrusted. Oh, get me out of here. Oh, don't want to risk going to my own server. Gosh. Anyway, so we have the stuff open, and I'm just going to give a quick example. If we were to shut off Apache, oops, not admin, if we were to click stop on Apache right here, what would happen? We're going to refresh the page. Problem loading page, can't connect. So if you ever see other websites where you get this error and you try to visit it, there's a high chance that maybe their Apache server isn't running. You never know. There's tons of possibilities. That's just one of a few. And I opened my browser. Gotta close this. Anyway. Alright, so now we have Apache that should be starting up again. You click start. Once everything's ready, you've basically accomplished what you need. There's one thing I would really like to address here though. It's if you want to add subdirectories, for example. You can make a folder in htdocs right here. And I'm going to explain how to do this when I start the actual PHP coding, because we're going to have a directory for project files. So we'll call this test folder. It's just testing place. No spaces. We don't want to mess around with the URL too much at this time. So you can see here you got localhost. If you go back to there, you should load your site. Localhost / now you're going to put testing page. Is that what I put? Short-term memory. Oh gosh. Testing place. I'm going to go there. And as you can see here, parent directory, there is nothing there anymore. But if you place stuff in here, such as new text document, blah, 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 big text document name, save, refresh, there you go. You're basically viewing your own directory. So it's the same thing as looking through here. Picture this is now a website. You're in the back end of your website. Picture it like that. And we're going to move on to the next couple videos of the setting up a workstation, where we'll help you get a good text editor for editing code, and along with a couple other things if I can remember. I'm really discombobulated right now because it's late and I need to get some sleep. But I will see you guys in the next videos, and I hope this has helped you out.